Alright guys, well here's an update as promised. It's been about a month I'd say since my last video, and I've had a really busy month. So what I've been doing is I've cracked on and I have replaced the entire rear end. So brand new. These are the original drums, but I've had them zinc and yellowed to bring them back up. Still plenty of depth on them. They were re-skimmed as well, so that's all good. The exhaust's on. So there's the rear axle, all looking good. All the poly bushes are in. New gas shocks. I was going to go for adjustable ones, but money, etc. Yeah, so it's on single leafs, 2.8 leafs, and it's got the 2.8 gears in the rear to suit the V8, and the big 2.8 roll bar and all that kind of fun stuff. I may get an axle location kit, which is what braces the axle here to the leafs. They're quite cheap, and apparently they handle really well. If anyone who's watching this actually has one and recommends it, let me know. Exhaust system is a 2.8 system, which comes out real nice. Looks good. But the big thing is that I have the wings on, the Valance on, both wings on. Let me open the bonnet for you. Okay, yep, so the bonnet's up with my rudimentary 2x4 bonnet thingy-majiggery. Okay, cool, so here's the engine bay. I've fit the headlight bowls. You'll have seen in another video that I had the front end of a Capri delivered, and I just chopped it up and I've used it. The engine bay's been painted in POR 15. It's just sort of a prep while I finish off various parts. So, you know, there's going to be quite a bit of grinding and sanding and stuff, because a lot of the welds are pretty heinous. So these are going to get properly seamed up and ground back, fillered. But I just need to give it a paint so it doesn't rust really quick. But come back a bit, see, looks pretty good. And the bonnet lines, the gaps, all look pretty decent. The door gaps around here all look okay. So it's almost a car again. What else have we done? Oh yes, so the wiring's back in place. The engine bay is now starting to come together. I've got the steering rack in with the coupling and the 2.8 injection rack. That's on there. Gearbox is still chilling in its usual spot. I have these just been delivered, not fit them yet. These are going to be reused as roll bars, and you can see here I've got my Bilstein legs as well. Alright, so what else? Yes, the radiator. This is a Sierra Cosworth, I think it was a 2.9 V6 Cosworth radiator. Try and get the camera to focus on that there. Fits quite nicely. These end tabs need trimming off about maybe half an inch, centimetre or so, just to get behind the headlight bowls like that. Fits really well, and what I've done is I've used rubber grommets on either side of the bolt, which bolts into the inner wing, to give it, you know, a little bit of flex and twist. It's an aluminium radiator, and I hear that they do like to flex ever so slightly. And the feet under here are repurposed bits of supercharger belt, believe it or not, but they fit really well and cushion against this front crossmember quite nicely. And then I've got a rod here, which is just a piece of threaded bar, again with rubber grommets either side to lock it centrally, and it's nice and solid where it is there. So the bonnet also closes with no issue, and you can see it looks pretty nice. This valance is a fiberglass valance. I went fiberglass because they get stone chipped to buggery and they rust really easily, and it just seemed this is actually stronger than the panel I took off as well. The metal panel on the car, it was original panel as well, but they're just made out of cheese. They're really bad, and this fiberglass is actually thicker and stronger anyway, and it's just bolted in at the back of each wing. You see it fits quite nicely. However, I need to cut these out. They don't come cut out, so I'm thinking it's jigsaw time. You see I've already put a drill hole in there. I'm going to run the jigsaw around it and hopefully I can cut it out fairly smoothly and sand it back and stuff. Mark II grill, of course. My new headlight balls are in, look really nice. Yeah, it's a typical wiring loom. Fuse box, I've got no idea where this is going to live. I'm thinking about fashioning some sort of bracket around here that has to clear this sort of section, so some more thinking required. Yep, some gas rams for here, and then strut brace I need to make up when I get time. Over here I've got, you can see the all the wiring for the console sort of in place and set up. Just kind of mocking everything up, and my wiring is pretty much ready to go. It's probably on. See, my courtesy light kicks in straight away. Got my lights working at the front here. Happy days. Just need to finish off the high beams and stuff like that. The horn. You hear the solenoid clicking. Window wipers work on the key, don't they? Intermittent wipers, perfect. And yeah, so that's all good. Still that hole in the floor, bloody thing, it can wait. There's my viscous fan, my electric fan, which I'm gonna have to, there is room for me to install it on this side but I'm gonna run it push and see how the engine cools. If it doesn't cool the engine properly, I'm gonna run it on the other side, but I'm gonna put one, I'm gonna locate it on the inlet side over here, because there's enough actually room for two of these fans, so I'm gonna stick one fan on this side of the bolt, sort of over there, pushing air in that way, and fingers crossed it cools. Regarding the cooling system, you can see here, back to this, the outlets are 32mm and the Rover V8 is 38mm, so I need to get quite a few reducing silicone hoses to make all this work. And you can see here that there's actually an M22 bung, which takes a temperature switch, which will control my fan. So the fan should kick in, I think it's 89 Celsius the fan kicks in, so we'll see how that goes. I can buy different ones if needs be. Yep, and the way I'm going to get it to work is by using a Range Rover external thermostat. So I'll probably cover the cooling system of the engine in a different video, because it took me quite a while to figure out how I'm going to actually achieve it. So I'll do a separate video on that. And yeah, so wiring, today's job, I'm going to finish off the engine bay wiring, so getting the headlights, the actual high beams and low beams working, and what else? Maybe patch that hole, get it done, finished. Yeah, and that's it. Of course the doors are in place as well, nice and happy. So she's getting there. Yeah, anyway, stay tuned and stuff. I've got my engine mounts coming either later on today or tomorrow, so there might be a chance that the V8 goes in, which my partner will be very happy about, because if you can see, it's chilling in the kitchen. So, yeah. Right, I'll see you guys later.